Hey, welcome to episode 2 of Proper POV Podcast. Today, I want to talk to you guys about a point of view that I have on my work life. The idea is I have every day off. So I pretty much work 7 days a week. I don't have every day off, but I feel like I have every day off. And that's not because I love my job, that's because I wake up with that mentality. So I wake up generally I usually wake up around 5 a.m. for a 6 to 2:30 shift, which is pretty awesome to have work that early in the morning because it gets me used to waking up that early. So I get my work done super quick. I get off, in the afternoon. So then I'll have the rest of the day to do what I need to do. And then when I do have a later shift, like an 8:30 shift, I'm not waking up at like 8 o'clock, eating quick, and then headed to work. And then I come home and I work way later. And then I come home and now it's like I don't have time to do what I normally do. And I just feel like my day was wasted. Instead, I'm just used to getting up so early, so I'll still get up at 5 a.m. I'll have my, 3 hours to get things done, and then I'll go to work, and then I'll have that same amount of time, what is it, like 4 or 5 hours to get things done after work. And when I'm talking about get things done, I'm talking about, things that we check off the list. And that list, remember, includes positive things and negative, well, not negative, but, chores. So oh, you got, to do this and this and this. Like, you got to call your insurance company. You got to, drive your kids to soccer or whatever it is. Or you got to do a workout. You feel like crap. You don't want to do it. Or you got to meal prep, these kind of chores. But then also what's on the list is go play frisbee golf. Go, hang out with a friend. Go carve pumpkins. Go do some art. That's the things we write on our list as well. Because that way we go to the list and we think of it in a positive way instead of just a negative way. So, yeah, back to that point of view of I have every day off. So I feel like I get up in the morning and I go to work and I'm like, I've got today off. And I tell people that even, and they're like, what the heck? You don't have today off, you're at work. And I'm like, no, I do have today off. I'm just here to help you guys out. And then you just feel like you're not in a work mindset. You're not like, oh, I gotta get stuff done. I gotta get stuff done. You're like, oh, I have the day off. I'm just kind of chilling. I'm relaxing. I'm good at my job, so I don't need to be so like hardcore about it. I can just show up and I can have a good time and I can talk to my coworkers and whatever. And just enjoy my experiences and enjoy my everyday life. And then there's still breaks in the day at work, and you can use those breaks to your advantage of having a good time and just like use what you have, and then you have the day off because the day is yours. When you wake up and you're like, oh, I gotta go to work, you feel like you owe your job, your life. You're like, oh, well, 5 days of my week are my works, and 2 days I have to myself. That sounds like really unfair balance. Like, you're gonna give up 5 days of your life so that you can earn money to use on 2 days. It's like, is the 2 days really worth that to you? It shouldn't be, because that's just a really unbalanced life. That's not what you want. You want to use all 7 days to your advantage. And I pretty much work 7 days because of, I've got the two separate coaching businesses. I'm coaching acrobatics as well as doing the mindset coaching. And then I've got two podcasts going on, and I've got my full-time management job, and then I've got all these hobbies that I like to do. Like, I like to do art, and I like to work out, and I like to do the acrobatics for myself. And I'm doing like the painting art, but I'm also picking up tattooing, and I'm vegan, so I cook all my meals myself. I'm not throwing in frozen pizzas and stuff. Like, it's like I have a lot to do, and it doesn't make sense to a lot of my friends how I'm able to get all this stuff done and able to do all these things. And it's just the prioritization. It's those lists that we write, that allows us to get done what we have planned, and to be able to have all these hobbies going on and be able to enjoy our lives to the fullest. So yeah, I have every day off because I'm using all the time that I've got. If you're waking up at 5 a.m., let's do the math here. So you wake up at 5 a.m., you go to work, right away. And I'm talking like 5 a.m., you're eating. I'm posting on social media about like, my coaching stuff, getting all my Instagram stuff up to date. And then I go to work. And then on my break at work, I'm like FaceTiming friends. I'm, watching a show, and I'm making sure I'm eating, obviously. And the food that I am eating during my lunch is actually prepped the night before. So like I make like a double supper. So I'll make a big supper, and I'll eat half of it, and then I'll use the other half for my lunch. And so yeah, and then something else that was going on. We had a podcaster I really really enjoy. He was doing a live, so I was watching his lives on my breaks, and so I would just be like, "Oh, I'm going to break right now," See ya. Like there's a live going on, so I would leave and I would do that, and then I come back, and all during work as well, I'm listening to podcasts or I'm listening to music, and all the experiences that I'm experiencing give me ideas of things I want to talk about with you guys, and it gives me like motivation to do things that I like to do in life. Someone was telling me the other day, like, "Oh yeah, I'm really into like smoking meat," and he does like he's just like such a weird thing, but it's his passion. Like he's got two meat smokers, and he buys like immense amounts of meat, and he just smokes them up, freezes them, and then cooks them up as he goes throughout the week, and he loves that. It's just his really he just love he's telling me all about how he seasons them differently and everything. Like that's just what he does. So being able to have like some sort of passion to give yourself, that you do after work is really great. But just like that kind of thing, like hearing that motivates me to do my passions. And so yeah, just those kinds of experiences and enjoying and getting different points of view of people who live their lives differently than I do, because I'm vegan and he pretty much only eats meat. So I'm like, that's crazy. But we love to talk to each other and hear each other's like different points of view and perspectives and how we live our lives. Just it's really way more similar than you think it is, because it's a diet. It doesn't matter what the diet is, it's just a different diet. So it's really cool that we have that. But yeah, just like different things like that. I'm just constantly writing things down and using my time at work efficiently. I'm getting my work done, but I'm listening to podcasts and writing down things while I'm at work about the podcast, but I'm also getting things done that, obviously pertain to the job. I'm good at my job, but I also have other things that I want to get done, and I make sure to focus on as much as I can at once, as much as makes sense. So yeah, so I get off work at like 2:30. I usually go shopping a little bit, and then after that, I come home, obviously unload my groceries. I usually need some food to eat after I'm done with work, so that's like a little bit of a snack or like a fourth meal, however you want to see that. And then I'm jumping right to my list, getting things done, and it's usually like a chore thing first, like whatever my biggest priority is, which can be either recording for the podcast, that can be making the call that I need to about a private lesson, or making a call about some insurance problem, or maybe I ordered some workout equipment that's on the way and there was some problem because something always is going on. Just whatever it is that needs to happen, I make sure that happens first. Like I've got a martial arts competition this weekend. I've got friends who need places to stay, so I'm kind of trying to organize them and figure out where they're going to be because it's right next to me. So maybe some of them are going to stay here, trying to figure out who I'm going to let stay here and who, like how many of them. And my brother's coming down, so I got to pick him up from the airport, that kind of thing. So just all these things that are going on, I got to make sure that all of my ducks are in a row with that kind of thing. And then jump into the other stuff. The next thing that is enjoyable for me but still work would be like working out and making sure I'm doing rehab properly. And then I'll go sit in the hot tub and jump on social media in the hot tub, and updating my coaching social media account. Make sure I'm posting every day, making sure that I'm keeping up with comments. I have three Instagram accounts. So I've got an art Instagram account, I've got a coaching Instagram account, and I've got a acrobatics slash coaching account. So the middle coaching one, that one is primarily mindset, fitness, and nutrition. So yeah, I've got three, so I got to keep up with all those, and then I've got two YouTube channels, and then I've got the two podcasts, including this one. So there are a lot of social media type things that I got to do. So I keep up with all that while I'm sitting in the hot tub, multitasking, being efficient. And then, I'll talk to people, I'll text people, and while I'm in the hot tub, and just like keep up with friends and everything like that. I'll even give someone a call, because I'm spending like an hour and a half, 2 hours in the hot tub doing all that stuff. But, by that time, it's only like 7 o'clock and I still have 2 or 3 hours. I come back, I make a quick meal, and then while I'm eating, I usually turn on Netflix, or, and it doesn't take me long to eat. So I'll eat quick, have a show on, and then I'll usually switch over to art, or, whatever it is else that's going on that I've got to have being planned out. because the most the toughest thing is the planning. Doing it is not that hard. Like we talked about in the last episode, like, you plan out your list, you've got your list, and now it's like you don't need to think anymore. You can be blank minded and just be like, oh well, so now I've got my list, I've got someone tell me what to do. But the cool thing is, because that's how we always live our lives. As kids, we grew up, people told us what to do, told us how to behave, told us what to act like, told us what to enjoy, told us what our options were, but we don't want options. So now what we do is it's really cool to be able to just be there and think of it like this way, like you can think broadly and be like, this is all the things that I like and all these things in the world that exist. And it's really great to have all these choices. Okay, let's choose. But you don't have free time right now, but you choose right now. So you make those choices, you write them down, and then the next day when you do have time, you don't have to spend, an hour, 2 hours being like, oh, where do I want to eat? What do I want to go do? I have all these hobbies, or man, I really wanted to try out like that high ropes course, or there's this hike that I wanted to go do, and I don't know what I feel like, or like my body doesn't feel right, and I only had hikes in mind, but like now you have this list, and you're like, oh, I could do art. I've been wanting to do that. I could record a podcast episode. Oh, I could start tattooing today. I can carve pumpkins. It's October. Let's do that. Just like whatever it is, on your list. So it cuts down time tremendously, and that's how to be that's how to have every day off, by taking advantage and using that list to really just condense your time and just not have the wasted time in between task to task. Because when I am doing the things I enjoy, it doesn't drain me. It's like, oh, I want to go disc golfing, and then I come back and I want to work out, and then I want to go sit in the hot tub and be on my phone a little bit, and I want to come in and I want to make an awesome meal and do some art. It's like, how do you do all of that? And I'll be like, what are you talking about? What do you mean, how do I do all that? That's what I want to do. Why wouldn't I? It's not hard for me. Like, it sounds hard for you because you don't like cooking, you don't like art, you don't like, running a social media account, you don't like working out that much. I love it, but I didn't just decide, like I didn't take 10 things and be like, oh, these are the 10 things I like, and then just start doing all of them and being like a maniac and trying to just organize all that and trying to be good at all of them. I usually have one large task at a time. The first one that I started when I started this self growth was painting. I was listening to these podcasters and they were like, just figure out what it is that you like so much and then start doing it. And I was like, man, I really enjoyed painting in high school. I've always been kind of into art, and weirdly enough, my favorite like math subject was geometry. So like I enjoyed like finding the angles and figuring out like all that kind of stuff and how it lines up and like having perspective on different objects. And it's just like, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna do that. And taking that step and being like, I'm making a painting right now. And then my parents like, you're doing what? How's that going to help you in life? I'd be like, no, it is. Like, just let me do what I want to do. This is going to be my hobby. And I would like listen to podcasts while I do it and just continue my growth journey while I'm doing these paintings. And doing that, now that's a normal thing. That's just a normal part of my life. So now I paint all the time. I'm learning painting. It's not, but I have all the tools that I need to do it. So it's not like this big project anymore. It's just this like this little side hustle that I do that I enjoy doing. And then the next thing I was like, oh man, well, this bleeds into tattooing. This is still art. So I can just pick that up so easily. And then something else, I love working out. But working out does get boring. So what can I do? Oh, I love martial arts. I've always watched martial arts movies and whatever. I never took a single form of martial art, but hopefully you guys get a chance to see some of my martial arts acrobatics. You guys will be blown away that I have no martial arts background at all. I just self-taught myself this. I just started doing it for fun, just like spending my days like, oh, I'm gonna go be outside for a little bit, and just doing flips and and I'm sure you've heard of parkour, that kind of thing. It's like so now I go outside, I do some parkour, do some tricking is really what it is. I'm just saying that so you guys can understand. But parkour is not the same. Don't yeah. It's just, so martial arts tricking, do some of that. And then I'm sore, I clean up and then I go and I'm sitting down and do some art because I'm sore and tired. And then that's my day. But now that's normal, I It's the normal thing. Come home, eat, go work out and do some flips. Come inside, do some art. Now I've got extra time. What do I want to do? Oh, play some video games, whatever. Okay, well, video games is like, yeah, it's okay. So now instead of playing video games, I'm going to add something else. What am I going to add? Oh, I'm going to cook my meals fresh because I want to get better at tricking and be healthier. Okay, so it's like you're just adding one thing at a time, and then it just becomes a habit and it becomes normal, and it's your everyday life, and it's what you enjoy doing. So now it's like, and yeah, all that's happening after work. So it's just using it to your fullest potential. You have all this time, don't waste it, and especially if you're younger, that's when you want to take advantage because everyone tells me that I'm like a much older guy than I am, I'm only 23 years old, but everyone says that I'm like, well, I started working and I was managing and I'm managing this 65-year-old guy. And he's like, man, I would never, he goes, I heard you were coming here and I heard you were 23 years old. And he goes, I'm not going to respect this guy. I'm not going to listen to a single thing he says. There's no way this guy can tell me what to do. And I walked in and I was just, greeted everybody, had a really good time, met everyone, it was just like a normal greeting. I didn't suspect anything from him. But then within a week, they hadn't had a manager for a long time, So the department was a mess. So I go in there in a week or two, everything was completely, just fixed up. And he was like, just stunned. And he goes, hey, I just want to tell you that I would never listen to someone your age. And he didn't tell me that originally. He's telling me this now. And he's like, just, you blew me away, with the way you do things. You're a 40-year-old in a 23-year-old's body. I don't know how you do it. But that's what's so great. It's like, if I'm a 40-year-old in a 23-year-old's body, does that mean when I'm 80 years old, I'm going to have the knowledge and power of a 120-year-old person? Like, does that mean I get to live more lives in my one life? That's what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm trying, like, wow, what if I spent my life as an artist? You'd be like, oh, wow, that would be crazy. That would be one heck of a life. But I don't want to spend my life as an artist. I want to spend my life as an artist and a fitness coach and a professional athlete and a tattoo artist. I want to do it all. So let's squeeze it all in there together and let's figure out what our hobbies are and get them done and just live all of our lives in one life and just be able to be all the people that we want to be, because we don't want to just see the category and be like, oh, this is what we do, these are my options. No, if you're an artist, that doesn't mean you're just an artist. That doesn't mean you wear one of those hats. It doesn't mean you talk a certain way. It doesn't mean you spend your days, painting. It doesn't mean you paint outside. It doesn't mean, you dress a certain way or talk a certain way or you live in Italy or whatever it is. You don't be in that box. You can be a painter and a fitness coach. You could be into country music and also not be an alcoholic, like you could be any combination of anything. The reason stereotypes exist is because they make sense. Stereotypes, you can stereotype people because they generally fit in that stereotype, but the reason people fit in that stereotype is because they think that if they match a couple of those things, then they just take on the rest of it. And that's not what you should be doing. You should, you can pick a few things from this stereotype or from this category, but then take some things from some other stuff and learn and be broader than you are. That's what it's all about. And that's how you have every day off. It's just do it all. Figure it out what you want to do and start taking those steps. Don't take on too much all at once, because it's not about the sprint. It's not about taking it all on at once, because if you take it all at once, you're going to quit it all at once. So pick a couple things, start with one, add that on, add something else. If you have to drop that off to add that and then add it back, fine. Just do it a little bit at a time and you'll get there. You'll get there and you'll be who you want to be, and you'll start taking those steps and you'll see the future and you'll be like, that's exactly what I'm reaching for. Like, just thinking back to who I was before, to think that I'm where I am now is insane. It's insane that I was able to reach this in just a couple of years. I can't imagine, like, I didn't even start, like, people would tell you, like, oh, where are you going to be in 5 years? I'd be like, what? I don't know, but now it's like, wow, to see how far I've gone in 2 to 3 years. And then to think about, like, where am I going to be in 5 years from now? Wow, I'm going to be exactly who I want to be. And I'm going to have all my dreams, just right on the verge of completing my dreams, just gonna be living a happy life and just doing what I want to do. And that's what I want for you guys. So let's get there. Let's get there together, guys.